A man with a passion for building speakers and audiophile quality sound, moved to the United States many years ago to pursue his passion for creating and building hi-fi speakers that really embodied the vision and the sound that he was looking for. Of course, we are talking about our good friend Greg over at BACHE Audio. If you have not seen our previous review of the stand mount speakers, go check that out. We've got a very different approach to his sound profile and his typical speaker build. He sent us the brand new BACHE Audio 103 towers. They have a really nice MTM design, dual tweeters this time, with a passive subwoofer built into the side of the speaker, a really nice bass driver. And, you know, we were really impressed with these speakers. All custom, hand-built by Greg himself here in the United States. And if you are looking for a company who just has a passion for build and sound and quality and just really diving into these things and producing this product, handmade, each one of these speakers, let's check it out. Let's take a look at them. We'll come back and talk about how they sound, get you guys out of here. I know it's Sunday. We want to get back to listening and doing some stuff, and we really had a great time with these speakers. So let's go check out the BACHE Audio SOFIA 103 from our good friend Greg over at BACHE Audio. You got to go that way. You got to take a left. Down the stairs, watch out for the cat, and in the room to the right, you'll see him. Go look, and then we'll come back. All right, so that was a pretty good rundown of all kind of the specifics. You can go to their website and check out, you know, the whole write-up on these things if you really want to get into any more detail than that. What I will tell you from my experience is typically in the previous versions of Greg's flagship speakers, that bass driver would have been powered by a Class D amplifier, so it would have been kind of an active system there. This new one, he chose to go just straight passive, so that 10-inch bass driver really, really gives you some very nice textured and detailed bass. It is not overdone. It is not as emphasized as, say, something like the Dynaudio Evoke 50s, which would kind of be in that same space. For guys that are really bass heads, you may even want a subwoofer with these folks. But that paper pulp driver that he uses in there is just ultimate high grade. I think it's something like $300 or something just for that driver in this thing. And I really enjoyed the bass. I am not a huge bass head. For me, it was textured and detailed and nuanced, not overdone. I had no desire for subwoofers with these speakers in my big room. As far as the mid-range, that MTM kind of setup that he has going on there with that dual tweeter, a lot of folks online I was sharing and kind of researching these speakers were really coming at me with like, oh, what's this dual tweeter thing? That's got to be diffused. That can't be that, you know, focused and detailed, and you know, there's got to be some problems or issues there. You know, all that shit is just, you know, people just talking about crap that they have no clue about at all. I found these to be very nice in the imaging, mid-range all the way up through the high end of this thing. The images in the soundstage were very precise, localized, very clean on the leading edge and the tailing edge of things. It wasn't like kind of my open baffles where it's more of an area than an item. You know, it's much more refined in these speakers. Mid-range vocal, very, very good, rich and natural. A big jump in difference from, say, the 101s that we had, the bookshelf version. Those things were forward of neutral, pretty aggressive in their treble and upper mid-range presentation. Could be a little fatiguing depending on kind of what gear you paired those with. We did not find that to be the case with the upper register of these speakers. It's almost like Greg took a completely different approach with these and almost went into kind of a more laid-back musical presentation, which I really enjoyed. Some of the folks who had heard the SOFIA 101s with me, they really enjoyed that kind of forward push, that lean into kind of that upper mid treble energy. And then when we heard the new SOFIA 103s, it was like, oh, that's an interesting take. So I'm not sure exactly what Greg's thoughts were there. You know, moving from his flagships, you know, having that active bass driver in there with the passive upper end, or with the SOFIA 101s kind of being that, you know, little bit of a forward leaner, to kind of moving into something that I would kind of lay more like the AfAudio Evoke 50s that I love so much. You know, a very musical presentation, a nice refinement, not open and focusing, you know, on that high end and kind of making that stand out. Just a very well balanced speaker. And I thought they were really fantastic. One of the cool things that I love is that Greg sent us, I can't remember how much it is, you'll have to reach out to him, but you can get that upgraded Fostex tweeter, that he's got a little bit of a crossover built into it. You plug it right into the speaker, Fostex, you set it on top, you got the nice little stand. I want to say it's like $1,000 or $1,800. I can't remember the price of it, but that really was, to me, a nice addition to that speaker, kind of giving that sparkle and air to it that maybe some of you want. You know, and you can pick up on kind of that little bit of detail and that little bit of sprinkling of that kind of that treble energy that it puts into the presentation, and I really liked it. We went back and forth between the two, and that's just kind of a flavor profile. So if you get these speakers and they come across a little bit laid back for you, which they don't for me, but if they did, you could always throw that Fostex tweeter in there and really sparkle and shine those things out a little bit. Talking about the build quality, one of the things I want to emphasize to you guys as you're looking at this speaker and considering this speaker, $4,600, which is not a lot of money for what you get kind of in this space for this speaker. Literally handmade in the USA. Greg builds these speakers. They are handmade. When you get them, you can tell they are handmade. They are not factory, laser edge, you know, precision, CNC, you know, this ultra, you know, cutting, you know, sharp edges. You can tell that he builds these things by hand. There is his soul and his character into them, you know, on the edges and the way that everything's kind of constructed. It is just a beautiful speaker. It's really nice to be able to kind of be involved in something like that is more of kind of a, you know, an art piece, if you will. I mean, you know, to be able to build these speakers by hand and bring that level of quality and, you know, to somebody who's not running these on some type of conveyor belt or through a, you know, assembly line, if you will, is really, really interesting. The technology on the bass driver with the adjustable ports in the back, it's basically kind of like a sealed system. You can read up on his website about how he doesn't have a standard port like you would think. It's almost kind of like a sealed system in a sense. And I really enjoyed that because it brought a lot of nice tightness and definition to the soundstage. I mean, you can't get these speakers to be like bloated or overdone. I mean, they're just so tight and controlled. Pairing these things, I gotta say, these things are 83 dB sensitive. So pairing these things with your front end, you are going to want an amplifier that's got plenty of juice, plenty of current, plenty of output. It wants to be fed a lot of power. It reminds me kind of like a Dynavector. You feed it a good amplifier that's 100, 200 watts, you know, that's got some good damping factor in it, and it's going to really shine with these speakers. We did put it with some lower watt stuff, and it was okay. It sounded good. It did nice, but it definitely shined when we put stuff like the Orchard Audio on it, Class D GANFET with that control. Really, really good stuff there. So watch your pairing with this guy. Again, 83 dB sensitive, so you're going to have to juice this guy up a little bit. But if you do, and you do it right, and you feed it a fantastic source, it is a really, really nice speaker. So make sure you check out Greg over at BACHE Audio. I really love his vision, you know, coming to the United States and just wanting to, you know, pursue his dream of building speakers. And I love the story about these companies, oftentimes more than I do the actual gear. I just like to kind of get to know these folks. And this is another one that a lot of people don't hear of, a lot of people don't know about. But for under $5 grand for this set of speakers, it's a 10 out of 10 must try. I would reach out to Greg if you had any questions and let him know that ABX Audiophile sent you. I hope you guys appreciated this review and rundown. It was absolutely awesome to spend some time with these folks and second pair of speakers, and we'll see if we can't do more with Bach Audio for you guys in the future. Have a fantastic day. I'm James, your ABX Audiophile, the world's only nonprofit charity reviewer. 100% of our proceeds go directly to support youth musical programs that focus on mentorship through musical creation. Over $10,000 raised and donated in the last couple years. So get in the Discord, get to the Patreon, help us grow, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.